Hello, everyone. I welcome you all to the day one training session of Frankenstein Debate Tournament. This is the 2024 edition. This is also known as the largest sustainability debate. Now, we all know climate change has been a big issue, and there has been growing debates about and around the same, which is why the aim of Frankenstein is to make sure that we're able to express our opinions, but also are able to come up with a proper solution for what we can do as an individual or what like probably government policies could do in order to solve climate, like the issue of climate change, and how can we save environment, because obviously environment impacts every single person on earth. So let's start with what exactly is going to happen in the three sessions that we're going to take for you all. The first session just today is going to be about just an orientation and induction session. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what the format is. So a brief description of the format of what you're going to debate on. And then you're going to have a quick theme reveal. So if you're already following us on our social media channels, you would probably know already the three monsters that are there, but I'm going to like explain that in detail today. The second session is going to be exactly where you would know what the format is, how the structure of your speeches are supposed to be, what is the speaker role, and how arguments or rebuttals are supposed to be formed. And the last session is going to be a practical session where we're going to do case preps and rebuttal formation and other mock debates. Now, obviously, you can see that there are like more than 40 people, which means we probably won't be able to give you individual like debate rooms training per se, but we will give you multiple mocks in terms of me telling you, okay, if this is the argument, how would you frame it better? Or if this is the argument, how would you respond to it? And then obviously I'll give you the opportunity to like share your opinions, and then I can obviously give you feedback on how you can improve. Now, the common understanding is that the trainings are supposed to happen from 19th to 21st. All of these training sessions will happen from 5:30 to 6:30. So I should be able to see you exactly at 5:30. So these are the three things which are in terms of the training sessions and how the structure of the training session is going to be. I can see a couple of questions about team, but obviously I'm going to deal with the team thing and the entire issue about team by the end of today's session. So please wait for that. Until then, just understand and learn about the team, etc. So, okay. So we have three monsters for Frankenstein this year. Can you guys so there are three monsters, which means the first one is eco guzzler, the second one is unchecked consumerism, and then the third one is ego tussle. So I want to know a little bit about what you think these monsters are, and then we will try to like sort of understand what each of these monsters are. Now, before anyone talks about anything, let me just make it extremely clear. These monsters are basically a guide for you to be able to understand as to what motions can actually come in the three rounds of debate that are going to happen. Obviously, there are two rounds of qualifiers. The first one is 20. The first one will happen soon, and then the next one is going to happen on 28th. But just understand that these are the three monsters, and your emotions are going to be dependent on them, which is why you should know about why these monsters exist, what are the kinds, why are they monsters in the first place, and so on and so forth. Okay, let's take a couple of entries and then we'll move forward with the explanation. Darsh, let me. Do you want to say something? Okay, Sudha.
So I just have a question, but I thought this debate was actually supposed to be on like climate change and environmental stuff.
Correct. So these all the three monsters are actually related to climate change and environmentalism, which is why I wanted to know what do you think these monsters are. So like we have tried to basically, how you try to give character to something, and obviously there are certain issues and evils in the society. And why are they evils in the first place? Is because they harm something or they are creating an issue for some people. Now, what we have done here is we have created all of these harms and like issues that are existing in the society in form of a monster. So these monsters aren't actually monsters, but these are actually concepts that are going to be harmful to the environment in totality. So yes, so I want everyone to type in the chat box as to what you think these monsters are. Do you have any guesses on what these monsters would actually do, or what would they harm, and so on and so on. So type it in the chat box real quick. Javik says he knows. Tell me, Javik, what do you know?
So I know about this thing called the ego thingy. So
Hmm.
it's when countries are developing, and there's this thing called the Paris Agreement, which forbids any country to emit a lot of carbon dioxide.
Hmm.
But developing countries say they have to do carbon dioxide because it's cheap. That's why they burn fossil fuels, even though now the futuristic technology is actually getting cheaper than fossil fuels.
Hmm. So I think you know a lot about this one. So good job. Okay. Any other like understandings on any of the monster? Are there?
So for me, I'm saying that all of this is how we are trying to balance about. I'm talking about the third one, we're trying to balance keeping our ecosystem safe and also taking out our ego. Like I want to do other things and focusing on saving the planet and its environment.
That was a really good interpretation of what this monster could be. Good job. Shruti.
Like, I think that these monsters are related to us humans. Like, we're throwing garbage all over the world, and uh, we're- like global warming or something related to
Yeah,
that.
so you're right on the point of garbage. So the second monster is somewhere related to garbage and the waste that we create, and I'm going to explain how. But yes, you're obviously certainly very near to what the monster is.
Man, we
Uh,
learned this in like school, so I know.
yes, amazing. Ayana. Oh, you're muted. Yeah.
I think these monsters are basically monsters that ruin our life on Earth.
Hmm.
And for the unchecked consumeration, I think it's that we consume a lot more than we actually need.
Yes.
So you
Yes.
can, the example is food. Sometimes people put a lot on their plate than they need, and then they waste the food, they throw it in the dustbin. That's unchecked consumeration.
Yeah. So we waste a lot of food. That's correct. And that's also bad, right? Because we're just wasting resources. Adil.
So maybe these things could symbolize, like everyone said, things that harm our environment and make a big dent in sustainability. Like Javik said, there is also a Paris Agreement.
Hmm.
It's like something like if you use more carbon dioxide, I think, than the actual use of it, then I don't think that's allowed. It's something like that. I'm not really sure.
That's okay. I can also see some entries on the chat box. Anya, that's really correct. Excess consumerism is leading to more production, which leads to more greenhouse gases. Absolutely wonderful. And yeah, obviously, this is true that all of this is actually impacting and harming environment. So let's go one by one with these monsters so that you're able to A, read about them more, but B, you will be able to prepare for all of these monsters so that you can actually do well once you get the topics and questions tomorrow. So let's start with Eco Guzzler. So before we actually start with what Eco Guzzler as a monster does, I want you all to know about certain facts. Okay, the first one is that according to the International Monetary Fund, global subsidies for fossil fuels were 5.2 trillion in 2021. The second one says that the worldwide spent almost $13 billion on cleaning up plastic pollution. This is a lot of money. And then if you can see the third one, it says United Nations Environment Program estimates developing countries need between $140 billion and 300 billion annually by 2030 for adaptation measures to solve climate change. Now, what do you understand by all of this? We try to understand that there are a lot of figures in terms of money, right? So we understand that whenever the word eco comes, there is something related to money. And with all of these facts, also we understand that it's something related to money, resources, etc. Now, can anyone tell me, is anyone into cars? Like, is anyone also interested in, like, vehicles, etc.? Can anyone tell me what, like, do you guys have a favorite electric car, and how much does it cost?
I just want to say something that's a little not related to this. Like the UN is made to like help countries and also stop this global warming in a way, but it's actually not helping because most of the countries in the UN are the ones polluting the most.
That's correct. Yes. So going back to my question, so can anyone tell me, does anyone specifically have the answer to this? Anya, tell me.
The thing is that I actually don't have a favorite, but I want to say that I got an idea that when you were saying electric cars, that maybe those electric cars are actually using fossil fuels to power the electricity made for those electric cars. So we're actually contributing to climate change in a
Not
bad way.
necessarily, not necessarily, because electric cars are actually an alternative to save climate. Because like all of these normal cars which run by fuels like petrol, diesel, etc., emit a lot of carbon dioxide. So what ends up happening by that is it harms the environment, but also it creates global warming and so on and so forth. So electric cars are actually comparatively more friendly towards environment. The point I was trying to make was something else, Lakshya.
When you said the idea about electric cars,
Hmm.
well, I have a favorite electric car, and that's the Tesla.
Yeah, how much does it cost? Tell me.
I'd say around 50 lakhs. And I feel it's a bit sustainable to the environment.
It is, yes, it is.
Since most, like you said, I want to add on to
Hmm.
your point where you said that most cars like Hondas, Toyotas, they
Hmm.
all emit carbon dioxide to this environment.
Hmm.
But if we use electric cars, they won't emit anything bad to the environment.
Hmm. So I think the point I was trying to make is that like most people can probably only afford normal cars which run by diesel or petrol. And if you want to actually afford like electric cars to be able to contribute to save environment, you need to have 50 lakhs, which means that in order to save environment as well, we need resources. And where would these resources come from? Which means even to save environment, a lot of resources are needed and a lot of efforts are needed towards channelizing those resources in the best possible manner. And we also understand, like I think most of you all have probably heard about how like natural resources are replenishing and all of that. But what ended up happening after that is that we use these resources so much that they're no longer actually like perishable, and they're not actually getting renewed in the first place. Because obviously, in order for coal, can anyone tell me how long does it take for coal to renew and actually be formed? Lishant.
It takes almost a millions of years to for the coal to form.
Is it a million years?
Yes, ma'am.
How many of you all agree to this and just give me a raise of hand?
I want to speak. I want to speak also.
Anandita, yes, tell me.
That to make gold, it takes not million years. Maximum it takes 4 to 5 years.
4 to 5 years is too less.
400
400 years, okay. Does anyone else have a different opinion?
No.
Darsh.
Ma'am, I just wanted to talk about that how coal is made.
No, tell me how long
nowadays,
does it take? No. How long does it take?
well, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of time because coal was mainly formed during the Jurassic period when animals were turned into coal
Hmm.
were turned into fossils,
Hmm.
and that fossil was turned into fossil fuels. So so from now to the Jurassic period, it would take a long time. So it will definitely take a million years.
That's correct. So it'll take a million years for sure. But let's come to the idea. Okay, the idea is we continue to use coal a lot more than it actually takes coal to renew and actually be formed again. Which means humans are just exploitative, right? Humans just keep exploiting resources. And why do we need coal? We need coal for development. We need coal for a lot of activities that we do in order to survive, right? Which means that we need to balance out between how much we use and how much environment is actually going to take time in order to renew it. So there has to be a sustainable balance between both of them. Now, this basically, this monster is the selfish monster which tries to exploit environment in such a way that environment isn't able to recover out of it by itself. For example, we cut so many more trees than we actually like grow, right? Or plant, for example. So is it okay for humans to be this selfish in order to fulfill our need and greed? And or should we also put in some money and efforts in order to solve the problem, is what the monster is saying. So monster is trying to say that this is a careless monster who doesn't care about anything but the selfish needs, his own needs. And this needs and this greed is actually harming the planet at the end of the day. And I'm going to give you more examples of eco guzzler and what harms actually exist with eco guzzler.
And Afina,
Um,
can you also just check on the waiting room? I think one of the students had dropped off, Jasmine. If you could just
I
let
want
her.
to say a point.
I can't see anyone in the video.
You can't see? Okay. Jasmine,
Okay.
are you here?
Okay. So
After just 1 second, if you can just enable the waiting room, disable the waiting room, please,
mm,
on security, on the second tab. Yeah.
okay, got it. Done.
Ma'am, I want to share a point.
Okay, I will give you the opportunity to speak. Okay? So what are the examples of eco guzzlers? So I want you all to see to this pie chart and how much money does government actually spend on different things, right? So if you can see the yellow part, that's the largest contributor. And then can anyone like find and read where you can see something related to environment, let's say, and tell me how much percentage it is. Quickly read the pie chart and let me know.
Ma'am, I got one.
Okay, tell me.
Ma'am, forest conservation,
And
0.49%.
correct. And is there anything else which is related to, let's say, climate or let's say,
Yes.
Can I say
yeah, go on.
crop improvement?
And there is drought proofing, and there is also disaster management. It's all directly related to
I got one.
plants. Yeah,
Can I say?
yeah, go on. Okay, wait. I think you guys are like, all of you all are speaking. I can't see, like, and I can't understand who's trying to speak. So don't just like unmute. Keep your hands raised, and once you're done speaking, just keep it down. Okay, I'll choose somebody who has not spoken by far. Arayana. Arayana, do you want to say something? Okay.
Ma'am, I have written it in the chat box to you.
Okay, I will read it.
Ma'am, I wanted to add.
Also, if anyone was taking notes, it's all right. I'm going to send this PPT to your WhatsApp group, so you will be able to access all of what has
Okay,
been
ma'am.
taught.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Okay, so then, so if you can see the amount of money that is actually allocated to, let's say, nature, climate, environment is actually very less. Will we be able to solve all the issues that exist in India in order to actually combat climate change? Probably not. The entire is to
उनके तरीके पे
can you keep yourself muted? Okay. So the entire idea is that resourcefulness is very important for ecological change to happen. And I think the idea is why do we need money? So can you see this entire thing? Why do you think India has a lot of garbage like mounting and all of that? Because do we have resources to actually clean it? Even if like government tries to put in efforts to actually clean mountains and probably make them a better place, people continue to have the cycle of actually dumping them more. So one is obviously we need continuous renewal of this expenditure, but also how can we actually make sure that allocated amount is used properly in the first place. The second thing is, and I think as I was talking to you about like electric cars and all of that, do you think green technology is that affordable? Are most of the companies or production industries do most of the companies and production industries actually have access to it? Probably not, which is because it's very expensive, it's not accessible. Probably like all of the developed nations have it, they have IP to it, and it's difficult to access it. So the idea of eco guzzler as a monster is that money and resources are very important criteria to be able to solve climate change, but also money has also become a big like hurdle for us to be able to do something for climate change, because oftentimes in not developing nations don't have that much money, which actually comes in the way of them being able to actually develop more, because develop the definition of develop nowadays is not just to say that hey, you're economically good, but it's also to say what is the quality of life in your countries, right? Which is why eco guzzler means economically what are the issues that are existing with respect to all of the climate change. Let's go to the next monster.
Ma'am, I have a good point for this monster.
Just
I want to
okay.
speak also about
Whoever is
the previous
annotating,
one.
please do not annotate. Okay, cool. We are going to the next monster. Obviously, I'll give you time at the end to have more discussion on a particular monster, but I want to make sure that I'm giving adequate time to each monster. How many times, like, is there anyone who is like a shopping freak, loves shopping, like small things, and like I used to love stationery, like cute stationery when I was in school and your age. Is there anyone who loves stationery, loves like beautiful pens, like erasers and whatnot? Yes, Tanya. Okay, so I can see that you all are saying that yes, you love it. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
I get to. That's why I was raising my.
Okay, great.
Ma'am, my mother likes to shop.
Mother likes to shop. Okay, what does she shop generally for?
I've seen her shop in Amazon fashion and beauty products, but mainly for her uh skincare, for skincare.
Okay, okay, that's fair. That's fair. So actually, unchecked consumerism as a monster is related to all of us who go mindless and shop online or in general, because you know what, we need to upgrade our lives and whatnot. Oftentimes there are two reasons why people shop. Either you need it and therefore you're going out and like in mall and then going shopping, or the other one is that you want it and therefore you go for shopping. Can anyone tell me the difference between need and want? I want you to keep your hands up.
Mama.
Wait, no one speaks, please. Anvi Kaur, can you speak?
Can I tell what is need and want?
Yeah, sure.
So need is like what you actually need. For example, you need food to survive, and want is like you get a toy from somewhere. So like need basic needs which you use. You need money, and then like etc.
That's very good example, actually. Good job. Tanya?
Like you need something to survive,
Hmm.
and you want something is to like you want a toy to play with, or you want like stationery, right? You want stationery to
Yeah,
use.
like you have a
But
really good pen,
it is
but then you see your other friend actually having a really good like a better pen than you, and then you ask your mom that can I also get the same pen?
yeah,
That's
and you
your want. That's not your need because you already have a lot of pens.
Ma'am, just over consuming it's just building on to landfill.
Correct. Yes, because over consuming means what, right? I want you to like just imagine this. A lot of times, what happens is, just because you see something is better or like very attractive, you just want to buy it, irrespective of whether or not you have a large in a large quantity. For example, a lot of people have this habit of buying a lot of clothes very often. The problem with that is you already have a lot of clothes in your closet which you never wore in the first place. Now, where does that clothes like where do all of these clothes go? Simply to the garbage. And what happens is that we are creating more waste than we're actually like being able to probably recycle it for that matter. Now the issue is we create a lot of waste, but also because there is a lot of demand of clothes and whatnot, people are producing it even more, right? So there's a lot of production and there is also a lot of waste. And that net people probably also don't wear those clothes like even once for that matter, just because we want to show that we have a lot of clothes, and so on and so forth. But all of this is just like you for your luxury and probably is contributing a lot more to the environment, which shouldn't happen in the first place. So what will you get from actually wearing different clothes every party? Just probably a small amount of gratification and happiness, but that is probably going to cost a lot towards environment and so on and so forth. Now, the idea about unchecked consumerism, it's not just about clothes, it's about fast fashion and like let's say all of the new like upgradations to all of these things. For example, the moment when you get a new update on iPhone, you just like get rid of your previous iPhone and then you get a new one. What happens to the previous one, right? You're creating a lot of e-waste that waste. So unchecked consumerism is to say that you see advertisements and you get attracted by these advertisements and then you buy them without actually knowing whether you need them, and without actually doing it, what you're doing is contributing a lot more to environmental harm. So I'll tell you a couple of facts then. Fashion industry accounts for around 10% of global carbon emissions, more than all of the international flights and maritime shipping like combined. So look at the amount that it is in the first place. The next one, yes, keep yourself muted. I'll come to you. Around 165 billion packages are shipped in United States each year, leading to an enormous amount of cardboard and plastic waste. So, like all of the time when you see bubble wraps or like a whole cardboard, whenever you like order from Amazon, all of it is contributing to climate change. So this is what unchecked consumerism as a monster actually does to the world, which is again very, very harmful. Okay, I can see a couple of hands raised and I'll pick you up now.
Can I tell something?
Just a second, Elena, and let me give the like chance to people who haven't spoken yet. So, Elena, do you want to say something?
No, ma'am, I forgot to lower my hand.
Okay, Palakshi.
Is there a question that I sent you in private chat?
Okay, let me check that.
Ma'am, I want to ask. Ma'am, can I share a point?
Just one second. There's a very feeble voice that I'm hearing. Who's that?
Me.
Okay, where are you? Adya, is that you?
Yeah.
Okay, your audio is just very feeble. I'm getting a little worried that you're not feeling well. What is it that you want to ask, Adya?
It's just that the computer volume is a little low. It's just that when we get Amazon delivery parcels or anything, I recycle the cardboard and use it for my craft.
Very nice. Lovely.
Hmm.
We are hearing these
I
ideas.
can also see a couple of like entries in the chat box. They're very wonderful. Saket Ram, you're right. These are exactly what like what's the difference between one
I'm
and like
out to say something.
and then yes, short-term happiness is what want is, and then long-term is need. Very good. Love it. All of you all are doing extremely amazing. Or keep these entries coming in. Okay.
Ma'am, I'm out to say something. Can I tell something?
Okay, guys, listen. We will keep all of the discussion for the third day. If you have any questions specifically, please keep your hands raised. Otherwise, keep it down. Otherwise, we won't be able to finish on time. Okay, cool. Let's go to the next one then. The next one is obviously I think I've already given you examples of it. Like a lot of times you think that you have the choice of actually making sure whether or not you want to buy something, but actually you don't have a choice. You see a lot of ads and therefore you're going ahead and buying that. You probably don't need something in the first place. Okay, Let's go to eco tussle. We heard a lot about Paris Agreement and whatnot. So I will start with some shocking facts, and then I'll try to explain what ego tussle is. So in regions like Middle East, Africa, and South China Sea, competition for resources has led to conflicts, civil wars, and even military interventions. Do you know a lot of wars actually happen to access oil? From like different oceans and places. This is absolutely, like, and a lot of actually, like, and it's not just about oils, right? It's also about, people fight for land, people fight for geographical areas, people fight for natural resources. Why so? Because the moment when you have access to these resources, you're going to be able to probably reproduce more, and you're going to be able to benefit and profit a lot economically from them, because obviously everybody in the world needs petroleum and whatnot. The second fact is that as the Arctic ice melts due to the climate change, new shipping routes and access to untapped oil and gas reserves are becoming available, sparking geopolitical competition among countries. So a lot of countries actually are just competing against each other, obviously not just for like this like whole oil politic, but also like gas reserves and so on and so forth. The last one is that this influx of environmental refugees is straining international relations and raising questions about responsibility, resource allocation, and human rights. Now, I want you all to understand one thing. Which country do you think is contributing the most to environmental change? And you know what? For this one, if you want to Google, go ahead and Google and let me know.
USA.
Okay, I want you all to keep yourself just keep your hands up, and then I'll actually take every answer from this. Adya, quickly.
I think USA too.
USA. Darsh, quickly. What's your answer? Darsh.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, which country do you think is contributing the most to environmental change?
Well, I think America, because America is the
Okay,
number
America.
one user
Hmm.
of oil.
Correct. Okay, let's just keep it that way. Anya, just give me the name of country.
China.
China. Okay, wonderful. Next
It has
one we have.
28%.
Oh, you Googled it. Great. Palakshi.
But ma'am said you can Google it.
Yeah. I mean, that was a smart move, is what I'm saying. Palakshi, what do you
India.
think? India. Okay,
India.
Javik.
So
I agree.
basically, it's obviously USA because that's where it's USA and America and Europe because that's because the whole industrial revolution started over there, and
Okay.
that's where the fossil fuels began.
Okay, Adil. Can't hear you, Adil. You're muted. Yeah.
I just wanted to say something that's not really related to this question, but maybe the name ego tussle comes over because all the countries are having ego that we want oil, we want resources, and
That's right.
all of that creates a tussle with all of the
And this tussle is not just tussle by words, it's tussle by war. And war actually creates a lot of environmental impact as well, because of all of the obviously environmental impact at that point of time becomes a small thing, because you're also killing a lot more people and so on and so forth, which is again bad.
and like
Saket. Yeah, Saket, tell me.
Ma'am, I also feel like USA, ma'am.
Okay, Elena.
first is China with more than 14 million tons of CO2 released.
Okay, second is?
Second is United States with more than with 6 million tons of CO2. United
Do you know
States.
who third is?
India with 3.5 million tons.
Great, this is what I want to know. Can anyone also quickly find out for me as to which country contributes the least to environmental impact in terms of
England, UK.
I don't think England or
Maybe
UK could.
Germany.
Just somebody just Google it and take the effort and then tell me who do you think it is. Like just
Ma'am, Kiribati.
okay. I actually haven't heard about this country, but like I'll just take that and then let's talk about this. Okay.
Kiribati is a small place in Oceania.
Okay. Little bad in geography, but like thank you for my. Okay. Great, guys. Shh. The reason why I asked this, okay, can you guys shh for some time? The reason why I asked, there are countries who contribute a lot, India, US, and China. There are countries who actually don't contribute, as the country name that you all took. Now, do you think everybody has the same responsibility towards environment, or do you think it different? Like it's different?
Share something.
No, wait, please. Do you think every country has the same? How many of y'all think that every country has the same responsibility? Just keep your hands straight. Otherwise, just keep it down.
Ma'am,
I won't exactly say the same, but I would say similar.
Okay, similar. Okay. How many of y'all think that it's actually different? Because it should be dependent on how much actually you contribute to the firm. Okay, great. So the idea is,
thing.
if a country is
Something.
contributing more, obviously the responsibility becomes more. If a country is contributing less, that has two values about it. One, either they have actually contributed less because of the idea that they have already put in efforts towards environment, or they haven't actually just contributed because they haven't developed and stuff like that. So I think the eco tussle is to say that different countries, and there is a whole idea about different countries should come up in collaboration and cooperation in order to solve the issue of climate change. But it also becomes extremely difficult for united on common policies to be made for environment and environment law. Because obviously there is so much eco tussle that exists because different countries have different access to resources. Different countries have different capacities. Different countries have different needs and stuff like that. Because developing nations, for example, their priority could be building infrastructure, being able to actually improve GDP and whatnot. And for developed nations, they've already done all of that. So for them, it's comparatively easier to actually contribute or actually take a large amount of their resources to save environment to begin with. The idea then becomes is that different countries have different interests, and in order to preserve different interests, it becomes a huge eco tussle between countries. But at the end of the day, obviously we need international cooperation, because just because glaciers are melting, that doesn't mean that India doesn't have to do anything, simply because we're not directly affected by it, because obviously there are a lot of other things that are happening in India as well. Now, what are the examples of it? That responsibility of environmental change exists for different people. There is a concept called polluter pays, which means whoever pollutes should be responsible for paying for it. For example, if a ship of oil and there is a leakage of that ship, and that ship probably belongs to country X, and that leakage has actually harmed the entire ocean, the flora and fauna of ocean and whatnot, and has polluted the entire water, then that ship and the country has to pay for that, is the principle. The next one is, obviously we need global cooperation in order to solve it. And obviously there are different initiatives and different historical understanding of how climate change should exist. But yeah, Adya, go on, tell me what you want to share.
Ma'am,
Ma'am, less the population, less the contribution.
That's also true, because more population means more needs, and obviously they need more things.
Since more population means more contribution, less population means less contribution.
Correct. That's correct. Adya, you can continue.
so if only one country is on this mission of global warming, it won't help, because the whole world has to help with this, because
Yeah.
it's not only one country getting harmed. Even if one country majorly pollutes the earth, everyone has to work together to solve it.
That's true. What is Kiribati? Okay, Darsh, tell me.
So Kiribati is an oceanic country,
Hmm.
which is mostly made of islands, and lies right in the Pacific Ocean.
So
Only
because it's
3%,
island, okay,
only
makes sense why they don't contribute.
or 3% of people live in the cities of Kiribati.
Okay, I can see a lot of somebody was saying Qatar also contributes a lot to. Okay, yeah, because again, Middle East.
So
Okay, let's.
Afreen, ma'am,
Yes.
we'll just tell them briefly about the format so that they can come back
Yeah.
with their thinking questions.
Nandita, don't annotate, yeah.
Yeah, no
Ma'am, I
answer.
want to tell a point. Ma'am, I think Chile, Sweden, and Denmark are actually, I actually like them a bit because they are the ones which have contributed more, and they might be the head starters of like the global contribution.
So I can see the clock right now. It's 6:20 almost. So let's quickly brief you up about the debate format that you're going to debate on. The first thing that you need to know is that it is a team event, which means you will be having a team of 3 members. And it's not an individual event. You need to collaboratively work together in order to win, the same way how countries have to collaboratively work in order to combat climate change. So teamwork is essentially here. So I want you to know that just because it's a team, it doesn't mean that everybody does not get a chance to speak. Everyone in the team gets a chance to speak. And how long can you speak for? Each speaker can speak for 3 minutes. So your speech is for 3 minutes. There will be 3 rounds of debate. Now, with 3 rounds of debate, what it means is there's going to be 2 topics, which means for the first and second topic, you're going to have so the first and second round, you're going to have the first topic, and for the third round, you're going to have the second topic. So the idea is for round 1 and round 2, you have the same topic, and for round 3, you have a different topic. Now, the only difference between round 1 and round 2 is that you're going to have different sides. So, for example, in round 1, your proposition, you will be opposition in round 2. If you're opposition in round 1, you're going to be proposition in round 2. Now, what is proposition? What is opposition? Proposition is basically the team that supports the motion or is for the motion or topic. Opposition is the one which is opposing the motion or is against the motion. Now, what generally happens is that with the topic that you get, proposition tries to give benefits of the topic, opposition tries to get harms of the topic. But obviously, when your topics are going to be released tomorrow, I'm going to give you more explanation on what proposition has to do, what opposition has to do, so you have much more clarity. Now, the structure of speeches is as follows. First, the proposition speaker 1 goes and gives a 3-minute speech, followed by opposition speaker 1. And then there is proposition speaker 2, then opposition speaker 2, and then proposition speaker 3 and opposition speaker 3. So it's a back and forth thing. So first proposition speak, then opposition, then proposition, opposition, proposition, opposition.
Mom, I know what the 3 speakers are, names.
Nice. So, I mean, if you want, who was that again?
Araina.
Araina, tell me what are the names. Tell me.
Yes, of the proposition 1 is called the Prime Minister.
Yes.
Of the opposition 1, it's called the leader.
Yes.
Of the proposition, I think, I'm not sure about this one, but I think it's Deputy Prime Minister.
Correct. Yes.
Of the opposition 2, it's Deputy Leader.
Yes.
Of the proposition, I think it's Government Whip.
Yes.
And opposition, it's I think
Opposition
opposition whip. Yeah.
So for everyone who's getting confused, you don't need to remember all of these names. Once you start debating and you debate more often, you know what the names of these speakers are. Just for now, just remember there are 3 speakers: speaker 1, speaker 2, speaker 3. And then I just didn't want to make it complicated for you all, so this is what it is for now. But yes,
I think I just want everybody to put on the chat, Afreen, how many people make a team? Do you all know? Can you put it on the chat quickly?
Good idea.
I want to be really clear about it, okay? Perfect, perfect. And how many minutes of speech will you do? Yes, 3 again. Okay, so that's very fundamentally something that you have to be clear about. And how many rounds do you have to do? No, Afreen, just stop sharing for a minute. How many rounds do you have to do? How many rounds of debate? So it's very simple, okay? It's 3, 3, and 3, okay? And like Afreen ma'am said, in the first 2 rounds, it's the same topic. But one side you go for, one side you go against, and the last one you go when we tell you what your side is, okay? So that's all we wanted you to remember for today, because we will get into the format tomorrow, Afreen ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. You all have summarized it very well. Okay, so now I want all of you to please put down your hands once. Yeah? All of you put down your hands.
The teams are they like more than 40, so it's gonna be how will it gonna be like 3-3?
Yeah, we'll tell you how you will debate, but I just wanted to have the children who don't have a team member, please raise your hand. Whoever doesn't have a team member, doesn't know their team member, just raise your hands there, okay? Okay. Do you all know that we circulated an Excel sheet yesterday? Have you all spoken to your parents? It was a busy day yesterday, right? Were you able to see the team names over there?
Ma'am,
Oh,
I just
we
want
didn't
to
get
say,
any spreadsheet. Was it emailed to us in
It's
any?
all in the WhatsApp group. Every communication that will happen for the debate will happen only on that WhatsApp group. So you all should be there, right? That's how you got the Zoom link. So what we will do right now is, one, I want to speak to the children who don't have a team member for sure. And then I'm just going to show you the Excel sheet. We will just repost it again. I'll just post it here on Zoom also. After with that, maybe what you can do is you can just probably share it here. Yeah, Javik, just one second, Javik, but don't put in capitalize. I get very scared when you capitalize and talk to me.
Let me see where I am.
Like y'all are yelling at us. Don't yell.
Yeah, it sounds like
It's,
me.
Ma'am, I
I'm
don't
sorry.
have-
Question.
ma'am,
Sorry.
I only have one team member.
Was
Ma'am, do we have to
Okay.
contact
One
them?
second, all of you be quiet. Yes, Vivan's mom, please
yeah.
go ahead.
Was it put on the WhatsApp group a
Yes.
while ago? Because a few of us joined rather recently, so it's
So it
possible
was put
that
yesterday, and I have just
we
put it
did.
on the I have just put it on the Zoom chat also, but I'm going to just repost it on the WhatsApp group as well.
Yeah, that would be great because I don't think we
No worries,
got
no worries,
it.
no worries. That's
Thank
why
you
we
so
want to
much.
make sure.
Uh,
We want to make sure that you all get comfortable.
Hi, ma'am. This is Lakshya's father.
Yes.
Do we have to contact the other team members or?
I'm going to tell you
I
what
have-
we will do.
Okay.
I'm just posting this once again because after I just want you to. So all of you have been. So what has happened is all of you who gave us a team preference, we put you in teams. Okay. I'm just reposting this Excel. You can look at it peacefully. Very few of you, maybe I think two of you only don't seem to have a team number. So I wanted to have a chat with them. But what we will do is by end of the day, we will give you a format to introduce yourself. So for example, let me see, team number 6 over here has Sanvi, Vanshi and Meher, right? Afrin, if you can just highlight those three cells. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a format to say, why don't you all please introduce yourself? You will introduce yourself as the team name and your name. So you will say, I'm junior team number 6, I'm Sanvi. So everybody else on the group can make out, okay, this is Sanvi's number. So Vanshi and Meher can contact her and then you can make your own little WhatsApp group. Does that work? Okay, so I'll tell you how to introduce. I'll open the WhatsApp group for you to introduce each other, okay? But I do want to have a quick chat with students who I have marked as yellow. So Afrin, if you can go up, because everybody's got a team. If you did not have a team member, then we've teamed you with your school team members, okay? So here I can see, let me just walk you through this example. Mihira, Modi and Avir Kaur, are you here? Anvi Kaur, are you here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you told us, I'm looking at row number 16. Afin, you can increase the resolution. That Anvi Kaur told us that I want to be a team member with Ashvi Sharma and Mihira Modi. So we club Mihira Modi and Anvi Kaur, but we can see that Ashvi Sharma has not registered for the tournament. Okay, Mihira and Anvi, are you here?
Yes.
So you'll have to tell Ashvi Sharma if she wants to participate, she has to register for the tournament. That's the second link we gave you, a link to register, the link that you all have used. Okay. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about Ishel's name right now. I'm just going to circulate it. So, and I'll tell you where to point your information to. I'll give you one number to sort of complain, if I may say, use the word. Just go down a little, Afri. So everybody else is in teams. Okay, this yeah, just one second. Samriddhi and Meha and Tanya, you wanted to team together, but we can't see Samriddhi and Meha. One second, Elena. One second. Okay, so only we can see only one or two gaps. Okay, otherwise
Ma'am,
most
I've
of you are
already
in teams.
registered.
Sorry.
Ma'am, I'm Samriddhi. I've already registered.
Yeah, okay. Samriddhi, you are okay, perfect. So Samriddhi, then let me check about that. I'll give you a proper number to reply.
Double D in my name.
How do we contact the other team members?
Yeah, I'll tell you. That's what I'm saying, that on the WhatsApp group. Okay, Afrin, you can stop sharing.
I just
Ma'am,
wanted to
I have a
say
request.
24.
Ma'am, I don't see my name in there.
Ma'am,
One second, one second, one second.
CBA.
All of you just give me 1 second. I'm just going to repost the message. It was posted yesterday. Let's just see it on the WhatsApp group as well.
Ma'am, please share in the chat. Ma'am, I don't have a teammate.
Wait. Hey, stay on the call. Just stay on the call. Okay, I'm just reposting this message. All of you, 1 second, all of you, 1 second, 1 second. There, I've just reposted the message. Afrin, if you can just TBA means to be allocated, Javi. That's where we will make the team. So okay. So before I go any further, whoever is
Ma'am, can you put it on chat?
I have. I
I
just
don't have a team.
may I speak, please? Thank you. Okay, all of you who are comfortable with your team members can go into the Excel sheet. I have put it on the Zoom chat, and I have also put it on, the WhatsApp chat. Afrin, if you can just give me rights, I'll just show it once. Just see.
Ma'am, my name is not there. Ma'am.
I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. So don't worry about it. Afrin,
Ma'am?
the rights, please.
I gave.
It's okay. Ma'am.
1 second, please. 1 second. 1 second.
Do I stop recording?
I was there.
Okay. All of you, can you please check on the WhatsApp group? We've circulated the Excel. Now, I want you to go one by one because I'm going to call upon the names of the students who are saying I don't have a team member. So allow me to just share my screen. So let's go one by one. Everybody, nobody's going to speak out of turn. It doesn't work like this, please. Keep your hand up. I'm just going to go one by one. Vivan, have you not been able to find your team member? Is that why you raised your hand?
That's just an error. We just had a different question, but I think we can wait.
Okay. So, Palakshi, you can't find your team member?
Miss, I had a doubt and a question.
Okay, so why don't
Miss, we registered in Feb, so that time she was in 5th standard, and her session has changed just now, like in March,
That's
from
okay.
12th March.
That's all right.
It's
If she
okay.
was in 5th when she was registering, that's perfectly fine.
Okay, ma'am.
Everybody
Okay,
else,
thank you.
why don't you do one thing? You all look into the Excel. I'm going to just give you a set of instructions of who you should reach out if you can't find your name. Okay? And whoever is comfortable, whoever remembers who team number they're given, you can all exit the call for now. So I'll just spend some time with the people who are confused.
Ma'am, I have an urgent question.
Yeah, Anvi, go ahead.
Ma'am, so my mother is not in town and she's in the WhatsApp group, so I won't be able to check right now.
I'll just check it for you. After you can stop recording because there's more administrator. Whoever
Ma'am,
doesn't. Yeah. Anvi, I'm just going to share you. Afrin, you can stop recording.
Ma'am, I would like to query.